Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Old Time Rock and Roll. My name's David Tare, and I feature a different musical artist every day whose birthday it is today. Today, August 23rd, it happens to be the birthday of this guy, Rick Springfield, who was born today, 1949. I think probably most of you know who he is. He enjoyed a lot of success in the 80s, and I'll get to that later. He actually had an earlier start. He was born in Australia, and he started out with this group, kind of a strange group. I've never heard their music, but they're called Zoot. They were, I guess, a popular band in Australia in the late 60s, early 70s. He performed with them 1969 and 1971. I believe that's him second from the right. And I guess it looks like their shtick was kind of looking like girls. They're wearing pink and they've got long hair that looks like girls' hair. I don't know what the deal was with them. I've never heard any of their music, but anyway, his first big album came out in 1972. He was still living in Australia at the time. His album was called Beginnings, and I believe he had one hit song in that album. And I can't remember the name of the hit right now. Something like "Spirit of My Heart." I never heard the song. Another thing he did early on was he actually starred in cartoon. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this cartoon. It was on TV for one season, 1973. It was called Mission Magic, and I actually watched this show a few times. I was 11 years old, and I guess I had nothing better to do at that time than watch kind of stupid cartoons on TV. So this just happened to be a popular cartoon, and I guess he was a rock musician, and he lived in this kind of magical fantasy world, and he performed a song on every episode. Anyway, that was Mission Magic. Anyway, he didn't really take off in America until 1981. His first big album, I'm pretty sure most of you have heard of this. It's called Working Class Dog, and it had his first big hit called Jesse's Girl. That was his only number one song, very popular song. He had, I think, a few other hits on that album. I've Done Everything for You. And anyway, he continued that success with several other popular albums and songs in the early 80s. His next album was called Success Haunts Me Still, something like that. But anyway, he had another hit on that album called Don't Talk to Strangers. And then in 1983, he had another album called Living in Oz. And the biggest hit on that album was Affair of the Heart. And then in 1984, he actually made a movie called Hard to Hold. This is the album Hard to Hold. And he actually wrote and produced the album, the soundtrack for the movie. I never saw the movie. I heard it was a pretty bad movie, but there were some good songs on this album. He had Love Somebody. I guess that was the big hit on this album. And there were a few other ones. He had a good song called Bop Till You Drop. And that was pretty much his musical success in America. But not only was he a successful musician, he was also a successful actor. Besides acting in Mission Magic, his biggest acting role was he played Dr. Noah Drake on General Hospital. He was very popular on that show. I think he was on that show for a season or two. And anyway, he enjoyed a lot of success in the 80s, and I understand he's still performing. Anyway, that's my profile on Rick Springfield. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.